Hi there. Welcome to very interesting session on Android. As you know that, Android is a complete set of software for mobile devices such as tablet computers, notebooks, smartphones, electronic book readers, set-top boxes etc. In this session we would know about Android, its features, architecture, components, and many other things. So now let's start our session. Android is a software package and Linux-based operating system for mobile devices such as tablet computers and smartphones. It is developed by Google and later the OHA, Open Handset Alliance. Java language is mainly used to write the Android code even though other languages can be used. The goal of Android project is to create a successful real-world product that improves the mobile experience for end users. Now let's see what is Open Handset Alliance. The Open Handset Alliance, OHA, is a business alliance of firm to develop open standard for mobile devices. Devoted to advancing open standards for mobile devices. Develop technologies that will significantly lower the cost of developing and distributing mobile devices and services. It's a consortium of 84 companies such as Google, Samsung, AKM, Synaptic, KDDI, Garmin, Teleka, eBay, Intel etc. It was established on November 5, 2007, led by Google. It is committed to advance open standards, provide services, and deploy handsets using the Android platform. Now we must understand the features of Android. It is open source. Anyone can customize the Android platform. There are a lot of mobile applications that can be chosen by the consumer. It provides many interesting features like weather details, opening screen, live RSS, really simple syndication, feeds etc. and it provides support for messaging services, SMS and MMS, web browser, storage, SQLite, connectivity, GSM, CDMA, Bluetooth, Wi-Fi etc., media, handset layout etc. We can create many diverse applications in Android, like applications for entertainment, tools, communication, productivity, personalization, music and audio, social, media and video, travel and local etc. Now let's put some light on the history of Android. How it was developed. Andy Rubin founded Android Incorporation in Palo Alto, California, United States in October 2003. In August 17, 2005, Google acquired Android Incorporation. Since then, it is in the subsidiary of Google Incorporation. The key employees of Android Incorporation are Andy Rubin, Rich Miner, Chris White, and Nick Sears. Originally intended for camera but shifted to smartphones later because of low market for camera only. Android is the nickname of Andy Rubin given by co-workers because of his love to robots. In 2007, Google announces the development of Android OS. In 2008, HTC launched the first Android mobile. The code names of Android ranges from A to N currently, such as Estro, Blender, Cupcake, Donut, Eclair, Froyo, Gingerbread, Honeycomb, Ice Cream Sandwich, Jelly Bean, Kit Kat, Lollipop, Marshmallow, and Nougat. Hope you have understood history of Android. Now let's discuss about various versions of Android till now. Till now Android has launched 12 versions of it. Let's take a quick look of the versions so far. Android 1.0, Angel Cake. The first version of the open source software was released back in 2008. Android 1.1, Battenberg in February 2009, version 1.1. Android 1.5, Cupcake launched in April 2009. Android 1.6, Donut released in September 2009. Android 2.0/2.1, Eclair released in October 26, 2009. Android 2.2, Froyo released in the summer of 2010. Android 2.3, Gingerbread landed by the end of 2010. Android 3.0, Honeycomb. For the first time Google released a software that was totally focused on tablets. This version, released in 2011. Android 4.0, Ice Cream Sandwich 4.0 released in 2011. Android 4.1-4.3.1, Jelly Bean 4.1 released in 2012. Android 4.4-4.4.4, KitKat released in October 2013. Android 5.0-5.1.1, Lollipop released November 2014. Android 6.0-6.0.1, Marshmallow released October 2015. Android 7.0-7.1.1, Nougat released August 2016. Now let's see the architecture of Android. The software stack is split into 4 layers. The application layer, the application framework, the libraries and runtime, and the kernel. Now let's see it in details. Start with Linux kernel. The architecture is based on the Linux 2.6 kernel. This layer is core of Android architecture. It provides service like power management, memory management, security, etc. It helps in software or hardware binding for better communication. Now have a look on native libraries and runtime. Android has its own libraries, which is written in C/C++. These libraries cannot be accessed directly. With the help of application framework, we can access these libraries. There are many libraries like web libraries to access web browsers, libraries for Android and video formats, etc. The Android runtime was designed specifically for Android to meet the needs of running in an embedded environment where you have limited battery, limited memory, limited CPU. Dalvik is the process virtual machine in Google's Android operating system. It is the software that runs the apps on Android devices. Dalvik is thus an integral part of Android, which is typically used on mobile devices such as mobile phones and tablet computers. Programs are commonly written in Java and compiled to bytecode. This is in blue, meaning that it's written in the Java programming language. The core library contains all of the collection classes, utilities, I/O, all the utilities and tools that you've come to expected to use. Now let's see application framework. This is all written in a Java programming language, and the application framework is the toolkit that all applications use. These applications include the ones that come with a phone, like the home applications, or the phone application. It includes applications written by Google, and it includes apps that will be written by you. So, all apps use the same framework and the same APIs. Now let's see application layer. The final layer on top is applications. It includes the home application, the contacts application, the browser, and apps. It is the most upper layer in Android architecture. All the applications like camera, Google Maps, browser, SMS, calendars, contacts are native applications. These applications works with end user with the help of application framework to operate. Now let's have a look on Android core building blocks. The core building blocks or fundamental components of Android are activities, views, intents, services, content providers, fragments, and Android manifest.xml. An Android component is simply a piece of code that has a well-defined life cycle like activity, receiver, service, etc. Now let's discuss all the components in brief. Activity. An activity is a class that represents a single screen. It is like a frame in AWT. View. A view is the UI element such as button, label, text field, etc. Anything that you see is a view. Intent. Intent is used to invoke components. It is mainly used to start the service, launch an activity, display a web page, display a list of contacts, broadcast a message, dial a phone call, etc. Service. Service is a background process that can run for a long time. Content provider. Content providers are used to share data between the applications. Fragment. Fragments are like parts of activity. An activity can display one or more fragments on the screen at the same time. Android manifest.xml. It contains informations about activities, content providers, permissions, etc. It is like the web.xml file in Java EE. Android Virtual Device, AVD. It is used to test the Android application without the need for mobile or tablet, etc. It can be created in different configurations to emulate different types of real devices. Now let's understand Android emulator. Android emulator is used to run, debug, and test the Android application. If you don't have the real device, it can be the best way to run, debug, and test the application. It uses an open source processor emulator technology called QEMU. You can see a dummy emulator image on your screen. It works like an Android device where you can install and test your application. This was the introduction session of Android. In our next session we will learn to install Android Studio IDE and will create a simple Android application. Hope you enjoyed this session. We will get back to you with more interesting sessions on Android. Till then, take care, thank you.